Right, I've been given a Koom replay to look at. Player watching today. Sona. Where is he? Here. What could I optimize first time Kooming is what he's asked. Koom isn't my favourite lane, my favourite map, sorry. But still check the basics. First thing, starting in a slightly better position. Would have had a shorter walk. Small thing. But always something, it cuts off a couple of seconds out of your early game. Speed up a little bit. This is mostly a solo map, so he's doing the correct thing here. You can scale slightly on wind. Arm wind is okay, but not exceptional. One or two cons early is fine. Remember to keep making solos as you're making it, so you don't stall. I probably, on this map, I wouldn't go core wind, for one thing. I'd go at least two cons in the early. There's plenty of mexes to take. There's this thing to take. You want to have a con moving up forward because this gets very porky in the middle. Having a con up there to help you with your commander helps a lot. And you just want something boosting your lab. So up to at least 3 cons I'd probably go. You could go 1 con, 1 grunt just for safety, another con, another couple of grunts. That's the kind of thing I like to do when I want to play safe. But I definitely wouldn't go 5 grunts super early. By the time they get across, they've already got plenty of units. Though making units is good. You didn't greed like 8 cons before you did anything, which is always good. Good pick off. Con turret's fine. Yeah, you didn't stall making it. Did a APM stall, but it's not a big deal. So I would generally recommend making a radar before you leave. There's lots of dead area you can't see. These guys do have one, but it always gives you that little bit of extra advantage. There's one here, so it's probably not too bad, but as a general rule, making a radar somewhere home, here or something, just going to help out a bit. As I said, I wouldn't scale core wind, not on this map. Got an idle con that could be doing some solos or something. Just generally low on units, despite having a fair bit of income. And a large part of that is due to how much BP wind in general takes. So you could very easily have pushed up and degunned this, at least one of these. I don't know when these all came up, but you could have at least checked. You're certainly in. This isn't an ideal position. He's got units coming out. Normally, if you end up, normally if they've overpushed, they've extended like this. That's because they have less units than you. In this case, you overinvested in a bad scaling option. So he's got quite a fair bit less income, but because his is better stuff, he's just got an advantage from that. He's also grabbed mexes on the way, which you haven't. I'd always grab these mexes with the commander. Idle cons, big problem. It's build power that's not doing anything. He is slightly e-stalling, which you aren't, but definitely if you're going wins on this map, you definitely want to have an energy storage fairly early on. He's overextended, which is good for you. He went for that fight. You could push him out of here fairly easily. Just walk in there, kill these LLTs. Those thugs will just smash them. There's nothing he can do. You just walk down his commander and kill it right now. Go some res bots. You start a thug walk. You just win the game basically straight off from here. He overextended, and you should just win. Yeah, get some res bots here. Start resing this. You've got good income, good energy income. You've got a storage. That's nice. I like it. Problem here, I think basically your only problem here is that you haven't realized how much stronger you are than your opponent. There was some sort of mild inefficiency in the early game, but you've ended up in a good spot. You can just keep pushing, just keep rolling. You have a T2 guy, you should pay for a T2 con, you have full on metal, build more build power, that's what you should be doing. More build power, putting down some more solars, probably a couple of advanced solars. I definitely wouldn't scale wind on this map. Wind is not good on this map. But that's an experience thing. Yeah, average of 8, you can go some wind if it's arm, but it's unreliable. I wouldn't scale it. Getting more BP, that's nice. Idled your lab. I assume it was intentional. So you've lost your advantage here. You've taken too long to get set up. It might end up being you could still push through this. You could kill that comm very easily. Yet again, a little bit hesitant. You got your T2 con, nice. I'd put some more build power on it probably. Maybe idle the lab while you're doing it. Just res units to keep yourself going. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of resing. There's so many units. There's like 20 thugs on the ground here you could res, and you just walk right through this guy. Speed up a little more. You're still winning it, which is good. Yeah. You realized. You noticed how much mass you had over him. So your problem here, you got no follow-up because you're not resing. You want more BP at home? You can have another 2 con turrets here fairly easily with this much income. One con turret for every 10 metal income, generally, approximately. So you could have a fair bit more. But yeah, don't forget, resing is the most powerful thing you can do. You end up overextending because you have no follow-up. Sorry, take a short break. Where are we? You just overextended a bit. As you see, he's resing. He's got your units. Those all could have been part of that push. The other thing, LLTs are not reliable defenses against anything beyond basic T1. Like pawns and grunts. So they kind of do okay against thugs, unless the thugs are being repaired, in which case they beat them fairly handily. And there's still a big gap back there, big old gap over here. I wouldn't bother with this. Go like 3 or 4 of them. Get a con forward. Make some actual good defenses, dragon maws, things like that. You had the option of moving up and taking hold of this mechs as well, while you'd pushed all the way over here, which you could have done very comfortably. I probably would have preferred you to take this instead of pushing all the way in. This is a 7 metal swing. You gain 3.5, they lose 3.5 if you hold it, it's pretty significant. Fusion is fine. Get East stalling a little bit. I still would have preferred you to have scaled on advanced solars over wind on this map, but it's fine. Your ally here is also going Sheldons. It's generally you don't want to double down on the same unit type. Go into something else. Your immediate problem is this. Go like 5 fiends, that'll clear this up, no problem. They go like Spybot and a couple of mammoths, and then you could just greed, or securing this, getting a Cerberus down is very, very powerful. It clears out everything here. I think it goes even further than that. I think it's like over here or something. It basically takes complete control of the center if you get a Cerberus up on here, which as core, you have the option of doing that. You're pretty damn rich, so you can greed pretty hard, or you can go to units. If you've been pushed up here, you would have lost this Mex. And you'd be able to get it up to T2, which would be 15 metal per second. No, less than that. 12 metal, 13 metal per second, something like that. Very powerful. If you had proper pork here, you wouldn't need to lose your comm. This push wouldn't be a problem. Sheldons are not a unit I like, to be quite honest. Their DPS is quite trash. They have less DPS than a medium tank. The only thing they have going for them is range. And the range is really good, don't get me wrong. But generally, they kill things really slowly. Oh, but this is the button I wanted. Speed things up again. Mammoths I like. You have a bot lab, but it's not doing anything. I would get rid of that. If you're going a lot of heavy Sheldons, mix in some Arbiters. You have a con, move it up forward, take these Mexes back. Just keep pushing. You've got a huge advantage here. Your units are idle. They should be killing this. They should put your allies here. Your units are still idle. I guess I can only assume your micro eco at home. You haven't noticed. You did move forward eventually, but that was half a minute more of this guy could be dead. That would force this guy to stop pushing. Should help your team. This guy could be killing it, but at this point you could drop down another fusion. The anti-nuke is pretty good. It's decent timing. Having it slightly earlier is fine. People don't often rush nukes, particularly on a map like this. You gave your units away. I would generally not do that without asking. It's the same kind of units as you had, so it's kind of fine. But as you can see here, this is just a lot of Sheldons, and they all do the same thing. And they don't do it much better than half the number of Sheldons would do. As you see, he's got some Arbiters. Arbiters are really good. Mixing in some is very strong. You should be taking all of these Mexes. All of these Mexes should have something building on them. You could just send a Twitcher, go capture all the Mexes. Send a T2 con after with a couple of guys helping out afterwards. Greeting a little bit is fine. Don't know what your plan is afterwards. You could just flood fiends, make a couple of labs for grunts, and you could just go and wipe the whole map. You're in such a huge advantage now. You could also go air. You're having problems with the wasps. You could go another fusion and go T3. Shivas would be really good. But making sure you're not dying to air is important here. Your top side is struggling. This guy is nearly dead. Another option, of course, is spiders. The Armada spiders are really powerful going up here. The core ones are kind of okay. You can also use them to come up here and push this guy out as well, which would help your team out a lot. You don't always have to just go straight into the guy opposite you. It is way too late in the game to be going Sheldons. You're at plus 120 metal. Like, fuck Sheldons, go Shiva. They do the same thing but better. Drop down a Juno. There's a bunch of grunt. There's lots of ticks around, so Juno will be really helpful. Yeah, I can Yeah, don't go Sheldons this late in the game. There's too many things that counter them. They're a good snowball unit. You build a mass of them and you snowball a lead before they can make anything that deals with them. But when you do get things that deal with them, they deal with them pretty damn well. I mean, ticks are a really good unit. You saw they just murdered 6 sumos, which are theoretically a counter. Arbiters mixed in your Sheldons, always pretty much. If you can afford them, mix in 2 arbiters, you kill all this pork so much quicker. Sheldon's not being microed backwards. You could duck behind your Razorbacks and your spam and just kite backwards. I guess you're microing something at home. If you're microing something at home, just pull back. It's not a big deal. Back into mammoths. Yeah, I'd definitely be going T3. Mammoths are really good as well, and you should have res bots here. Look how much stuff there is here to eat / res. 23,000 metal. That's enough for many Aphis. So once you've pushed through like this, stop the spam. Or don't stop the spam, group the spam, just have them all ball up. Like this guy is doing. They're so much more effective when you can do that. So that's those pawns. I thought it was sprinters for a second. But yeah, it was fine. You need to be more decisive, more aggressive, basically. Notice when you didn't notice you had an advantage, you could have killed this guy much sooner. Their eco is useless. You're not wrong. Our eco is useless. This guy is useless. Never rush a Juggernaut. If anybody might be watching, this is terrible. I understand the temptation. It's the most expensive fancy scene in the game, but it's just not good. And it's been 30 minutes and the guy hasn't done anything. He also did double nuke. Oh dear. Yes. Well, anyway, ignoring that. This game is very over. Not really sure there's much more else to talk about. T3, bit late. Lab is backwards. Remember, you can eat labs. This hasn't done anything for ages. That can be 3 Shivas, 2 Shivas. Just eat it. Eat these wins. They're not doing anything. You've got fusions. You've got Aphis. They're just in the way. Solar's same. Gotta remember to eat everything. Having the T1 labs grunt spamming is fine. But yeah. That's about it. There's no way they make a comeback. But yeah. Hope that was helpful.